so much. I love you so much. I love you so much. I love you so much.
Hello, all you positive heads. Welcome to a very special episode dedicated to none other than you, the pea heads themselves. I am your pea head enthusiast and hostess for the day, Alexa Hauser. I have been blessed to have the experience of helping out with Positive Head social media for the better part of a year. And through my digital interactions, I began to realize, as did Brandon, that we have some incredible beings listening to this show who are taking the information that Brandon puts out through the podcast and using it to transform their lives and create wonderful things. You listeners are all a huge, huge part of the life force that propels this show forward through time and space, and we think it's time to bring forth some of you beautiful reflections and delve a little deeper into this collection of energy that is the Positive Head community. So as we shine the spotlight on our listeners, what we'll have them do is share their stories of how they attracted Positive Head into their life, the transformation it's facilitated for them, and what they're focused on creating now that they're in a more positive headspace. Also, this episode of the Positive Head podcast is being brought to you thanks to the support of Gaia. If you're not familiar, Gaia is the go-to source for streaming consciousness content online. And you can sign up for your first month for only 99 cents at gaia.com/positivehead. That's spelled GAIA.com/positivehead. Check it out. Hello, all you positive heads. On this week's Pea Head Posse episode, our guest is Adam Theroux. Adam is a philanthropist from Rhode Island and the founder and director of Good People Doing Good, a nonprofit organization with the simple goal of helping our neighbors with unexpected acts of kindness. Hi, Adam. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Alexa, thanks so much for having me.
Oh my gosh, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you. Your energy is just infectious. So, but before we, get into what you're doing now and where you're at now, why don't we, start at the beginning and just hear a little bit about your story and what your life experience has been up until now.
Oh, of course. Thanks. Well, I mean, if we're going all the way back, as a kid, I can remember hosting foster families, foster kids, growing up with just that giving back and just helping people attitude and mind frame. I contributed 1009% to my mom. She's just really instilled in me to be that good person. So growing up, I kept with it. I just care about people as a whole. No dividing. I just see humans as humans. And I'm here to, now with Good People Doing Good, just help my fellow humans and be a ray of sun in their day.
And where was that? You said that just came naturally to you as a child?
As a child, it did. Yeah. I mean, well, naturally, or mom definitely just drilled it into me that it just seemed natural to always give back and always want to be the guy. I feel like giving somebody a smile or a laugh is one of the best gifts you can give. So I've always considered myself, I was always a class clown. Just making people laugh had always felt great. But last year, in January, I performed a few just random acts of kindness, unexpected. I got to see the people's reaction, and I never told them it was me. And man, after that third one, I realized it was something I wanted to do just on a larger and much more often schedule. And that's what Good People Doing Good came into play.
That's awesome. And I want you to tell us all about that. I just want to interject real quick and say, you're reminding me, my mom. So, okay. My mom, since we're talking about moms, like a few years ago, it was like 6 years ago now, she got into this really big funk. She was a news reporter and she got into this really big funk in her life. And somehow the idea came to me, which I now know, like I was just channeling an idea for her. But I was like, you need to shake like your life up. You need to do one new thing every day for a year and write a blog about it. And so my mom like thought about this and then took on this challenge where she ended up spending 1 year doing something new every day. And a big portion of the thing, or not a big, like one of the big categories of things that she would do, because, you know, you need something every day, 365 days, was random acts of kindness for strangers. And those, like, you know, she did some crazy things on this year and it's all documented and there's a book about it and everything. But like truly the ones that have the most impact and the ones that are the most special to watch or read about are just the simple ones where like she paid for, you know, she went and like put all this money in these almost expired parking meters, or just like, or, you know, paid for someone's thing randomly. And it popped into my mind as you said that about random acts of kindness, like how good it actually feels and how powerful it actually is to do that without, like you said, without asking for attention back. And just so with that in mind, I don't know why that just really just came back to me.
That's an awesome story. Are you kidding me?
Oh,
that's
great.
amazing. I want to read that blog.
Oh, I'll send it to you. Yeah, I'll send you the blog. I'll send you the blog. But so on this note of, you know, doing random acts of kindness for people, so that you're saying this is what inspired you to start Good People Doing Good. And yeah. And what is that? Good People Doing Good.
Good People Doing Good, it's my passion project. What we do is people write out to us about someone they know, either going through like a financial or an emotional struggle, and we send that person an unexpected gift or some sort of package. In the past year, we've done so many things, and it's so fantastic. I mean, a few examples, raised over 600 quality books to donate to one of the poorest schools in Rhode Island. And each kid at that school got to take home a book, and then another couple hundred got put into the library.
Wow.
Once we raised over 400 toys, never announced anything, and just popped up with a free toy stand in another poor community in Rhode Island. And that day, people walked by, I was just giving out toys. One man asked, he's like, why are you doing this? And I pointed at the kids that were deciding if they were going to take the Pokemon or the Spider-Man toy. And I was like, that is why I'm doing this. And it felt so good. We just flew a mother and her youngest son out to go watch her oldest son graduate from college, the same college that mom graduated from.
Wow.
There's just so many little things. We put 50 gallons of heating oil into a neighbor's in their oil tank, but it's our supporters. They write out to me about someone they know. It's not people writing out saying, I'm going through this, because right now we have like an $800 a month budget. It's not groundbreaking, but it's still enough to surprise like 5 people or 5 families with as small as signing them up for a Food of the Month club for a few months. Sending care packages to hospitals and buying strangers' entire bill at the restaurant because I overheard it was their birthday. It's things like that. And it's just trying to live a more positive life. As I've learned from listening to Positive Head, if you try to just be a happier person, it will work. And this is how I've tried. I've put myself out there to do the good, and other people, they react to it, and then they feel the feels, and it's just this perpetual motion of happiness. And it feels so good to have started this 1 year ago, and it's already blown up. We've gotten news coverage. A local lifestyle show did an interview with me on there. Local magazine with 200,000 readers just put an interview out. It's nice to be behind something that other people can get behind, because we're not out there just for veterans or just for children. We've helped veterans and children so far, and everyone in between.
Wow. That's amazing. And what is like your vision for this? What's your vision like for the future of this? Because like you said, you only just started and, you're already doing so much. So what do you see when you look to the future?
I mean, I guess I do work full time right now, and I'm doing a lot of juggling. We're about 4 weeks away from having our first child, my wife and I. So
wow.
it's so
Congrats.
amazing, and we're so excited. Thank you. But there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
I've extended I have a 5-year plan. And I wanted to make it something doable, especially because so much is going on. But I have a 5-year plan to make this my job. And I know there's a lot of nonprofits out there that, it's kind of for rent and staffing, split that 70-30 way where 70 goes into funding the project and only 30 of it goes back, out to doing the good. And not until I can do the opposite will I take a penny from good people doing good. I always write out to all of our patrons and supporters, this is exactly what I spent every penny on this month. So they know the total that I get from them, and they know exactly what I spend it on. They can do the math themselves, and it's complete transparency, which they really appreciate.
Oh my, yeah.
So good.
Oh my gosh, I was just about to say that is so refreshing on its own. Complete transparency, And I think that is I feel like what you're saying and what this is really all about is really just this energy of, it's the intention, it's the intention behind it. It's the intention of being transparent about what you're doing and about actually just doing it's the way that Brandon runs the show,
Yes, exactly.
It's like every day something bubbles up and then he just kind of rolls with it. And there's no like rigid lines. It's just kind of like, oh, that feels in the flow today. And that's kind of what wants to be talked about. And he does it. And it seems like that's how you're doing this, where it's kind of like, oh, that's what needs to be, that's what needs to be. How do you say it? That's where I need to put my good energy today. Or, that's what needs to be remedied today. And that's amazing. What's your favorite part about doing this?
There are so many great parts, but my absolute favorite part is either hearing from a supporter or hearing from somebody that we donated to, because I don't put my name over everything. Everything's from good people doing good. But when we send out a gift, we send out, grocery gift cards or anything that I'd named before. And I send a handwritten note with everything. It's just, I hope this finds you and puts a smile on your face. It's as simple as that. But a handwritten note means everything. And when I get a handwritten note, or even a hand-typed note, I'll take that. But when I get that in return, reading those notes, really, that is my favorite part. I got about 12 notes from a school once that we bought a new table for. Those notes from the kids were so cute. I got notes from people across the country that we've sent things to, and other supporters that have reached out and been like, thank you for inspiring me to do good. And to know that you inspired someone to do something on a positive level, there's nothing like that. And Brandon knows exactly what I'm talking about, because he's affected so many people in such a great, positive way that have gone on to do bigger and better things we're meant to be here for. And when I hear back from those people, there's nothing like it.
Wow, that's amazing. And speaking of supporters, as you're saying, you hear from supporters. So let's say someone's listening right now and is like, wow, this is so cool. I want to be a part of this, or I want to help, up this budget. How can they contribute to this or donate to this? Or, how can they work with good people doing good?
That's awesome. There's so many ways. Anybody in, the Rhode Island area, well, everybody even outside of the Rhode Island area, find us on Facebook. It's facebook.com/goodpeopledoinggood.org. The same name for our Instagram. That's where we post all of our things we're holding this event and we need volunteers. Outside of that, go to goodpeopledoinggood.org. There we have the PayPal tab. You can make a one-time donation. There's the Patreon tab. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month. And you heard I say you find out exactly where every money goes. And $1 a month, that's less than a penny in an hour worked in your average work week. But then there's, you want something for your return besides just knowing what's happened, you can hit up our web store. We've got shirts and stuff. And for the first 20 people to go to the web store and use discount code, all one word, PHEAD, you get 10% off your order. All the money that's raised from this and from PayPal and from Patreon, 100% of that goes back out into the community to do the good.
Wow. Well, thank you for that discount code. Hope everybody.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. This is a really cool idea. It reminds me, or I don't know, in my mind, it's like I'm seeing multiple of them kind of like, I feel like this idea will inspire a lot of other ideas very similarly. I mean, just the way, as I was talking about it, it's like when someone, I hope that many of us have gotten to be that person who, you go up to pay your toll, or you go up to whatever. I'm thinking of tolls because it's just like one after the other, but you go up to pay your toll and you find out that, the person in front of you has already paid it. And then what do you do? Because you're like, oh, wow, I already have the money out, and, well, okay, I'll pay it for the person behind me. And you just hope, and you just think, wow, wouldn't that be cool if that just keeps going all day? Wouldn't that be cool if, so it's like, as you're talking about this, as you're talking about what you're creating and what you're doing, it's like I'm seeing light bulbs go off in my head, of the people listening that are like, whoa, I could do that. Like I could do that in my community, and following your lead. And I think it's really, and I also think I'll just say, so my dad's retired, and he worked in the TV news business for a while. And something that my mom keeps saying to him is, why don't you volunteer? Or like, why don't you, get out there in the community and, just because, he's kind of like a little, he loves helping people, but it's just a little resistant, I think, to put himself out there in such a way. Mm-hmm. But, it is this thing that I'm realizing, it's like, especially for people who are retired and just kind of not really knowing what that next step is, I feel like that's such a time when you can feel disconnected from your community, and you can feel just disconnected from people because, it's just this interesting phase of life. And it's like volunteering in this way to give back is so powerful and so healing. I feel like, even just listening to you talk about it, you're like, you're like overflowing with energy and love and, all this. Yeah. And I'm just wondering if you could speak to that a little bit. Like, have you witnessed that? Have you witnessed, people, like, not only is it helping the people that you're actually giving to, but the people who are doing the giving, like the people that are, like you're saying, it's feeling so good. Like, have you witnessed that effect on them?
Times 1,000. I get, like, when the supporters shoot me a Facebook message, it's like, hey, just wanted to let you know that because of everything you post and all of that positivity, I was at Walmart today and there was a man in front of me and his card got declined and he had a $17 order. So I paid for it. And then I refused to give the guy my contact info because he wanted to send me a check. And yeah, and so many more. Let me tell you one story that is so cute. Last night, I opened a package that I got over the weekend. It had some Barbie dolls in it that got donated to me, collectible Barbie dolls. But the person said, give them to people that want them or sell them to raise money for good people doing good. Cut their hair, give them Sharpie tattoos. These are yours. Do whatever you want. And I thought that was so amazing and so cute. So then he took all the Barbies out of the box, started taking pictures of them, looking online to see which is collectible. At the bottom of the box, there was a Ziploc bag filled with change and cash. And inside that Ziploc bag, there was a little postcard from young Casey. And on that postcard, it said, fun, F-U-N, razor, R-A-Z-E-R, for poor people, P-O-R-P-E-O-P-L-E.
Oh, my.
so like it was so cute, but this 6-year-old raised $46.47 of his own money and from other people that would come visit him, and then mailed it to me because his mom and he, like, his mom was a supporter of good people doing good, and then she just kind of told him about it. Am I allowed to promote my podcast?
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Okay. I feel like it's also one of those, like, it's amazing to be able to promote this on this platform because it's a full circle. You know, I've learned so much from this, but I have a podcast called Aggressively Positive, and I read positive news stories. There's some humor in it, but it's family friendly. And this mom and Casey, they enjoy listening to Aggressively Positive. So he wanted to send his fundraiser money to the funny man with the radio show. And it touched my heart. I'm going to frame this. It is the cutest postcard, and I've got the chills now. It's so amazing.
Oh, I love that. And I love Aggressively Positive. I feel like that is you for sure. Aggressively Positive.
Thank you.
That is so cute. And, you know, I feel like children more and more are just like, it's like they know what to do, you know? They really like know what to do because they're so tuned in, and they have, you know, and I think all of us, we all have the hearts of children, you know, but it's just that we have these other ideas that have been told, ideas of scarcity or lack, or there won't be enough, or, you know what I mean? Like when I think of the reasons that I haven't given, you know, when I had the opportunity to, for example, I think about every time what comes into my head is a story that I've been told about, you know, oh, well, if you give that, then you won't have enough for yourself. Or, you know, or it's all about lack. It's all about believing these ideas of lack. And I think it's just your story just kind of illuminated this idea that, you know, I think kids, they're so pure hearted and they truly want to give and they truly want to love people. And I think as we get older, it's not that we stop wanting to give or love people. It's just that we get afraid. We get scared because we think that somehow if we love other people, then that's going to leave less for ourselves or something like that. So I think it's so beautiful, you know, to really just remind everybody that like we're all still kids and we all still have that heart, and you know that giving to others is actually enriching to yourself. And like you've just given a million examples of that. And it's like you know, you're like so lit up and overflowing with this energy, and it's amazing. And thank you for being, you know, an example of that. Cause I think what I'm saying is I think we need more people to just start doing this stuff and talking about it so that other people can stop being afraid of it, is what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I told you a couple examples. Here's another one that's a quick, short, fantastic story. One of my patrons wrote out to me, and he told me about a kid in his neighborhood who had his bike stolen. And his birthday was coming up, and he already had a bike. And the last thing he wanted to do was get another bike for his birthday. So I had heard, you know, my buddy Scotty from Alabama told me this. So I was like, at this point, I think our budget was about $500 a month, and we would send $100 to, in some sort of form, to 5 different people. So I sent a $100 gift card to Scotty so he could go buy him a bike, because there were plenty of bikes at Walmart that were $100 and some decent ones too. It's 2019.
Yeah.
But Scotty then was so touched by a little organization in Rhode Island wanting to send a little boy in Alabama $100 that Scotty matched it and bought this kid a $200 bike, posted my story and his story to Facebook. A local bike shop saw it, and they offered to put the bike together for free. So it's that, like I said earlier, that perpetual motion of good. It's the snowball effect. It's so fantastic. And yes, there's a lot of negative out there, and we're always afraid, you know, is this person, God forbid, going to take advantage of me, or what's going on? And I do my fact checking. I need to find out, but I'm here to help the people, and it's so nice when you help someone and then that person helps someone, but then it just keeps spiderwebbing out, and it's I can talk about it for years. It's just such a great feeling.
Oh my gosh, I love that story so much because you're saying, it's a snowball effect, and it really shows you, how, and even if, like, for example, you're reminding me again of another story. When I was younger, my mom, I don't know why it keeps coming back to my mom and my dad, but
because they're the best.
Because they're the best. Yeah, I remember my mom was doing some sort of, I think it was like during the holidays or something like Toys for Tots, or there's some sort of, what was it? Whatever. She got assigned a family that was in need, and she agreed, something she wanted to do was to give them all what they wanted for Christmas, to get them things that they couldn't afford. So she did. And one of the things was like an Xbox, right, at the time. And then somehow, yeah, and it was like a commitment, like, but she wanted to do it. And so one of the things was like an Xbox, and so she got the Xbox, and then somehow found out, I totally forget how it was found out, but that they already had an Xbox or something like that, but that it had been asked for another one. And I remember very vividly this, I haven't thought of this in so long, but I remember at first my mom was like a little bit upset because she was just like, what, like, confused of what was going on. But then I'll just always remember this. She was like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the situation is. Like, I committed to this and I want to give this. This was on the list and I want to give this to this family. So she gave the Xbox anyway. And I don't know, the point is, I don't know what the deal was there, but what you were just helping me see with your story is that it doesn't, again, it goes back to the intention. Like you're saying, you can check people out, you can check things out as much as possible. And all of our fears, like you said, is like, are we going to get taken advantage of? Is this really needed, etc. But at the end of the day, it's about the intention and about showing and like giving that gift with a pure heart, because when you do that, it's like it's almost like it dissolves everything that's not pure around it. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it's magnified. The intention of love is magnified, and it's other people learn from it. They take that example and then they do what's right. And if something isn't in alignment, it can literally become in alignment through your act of love, if that makes sense. So I think it's a powerful thing to remember when, if you have those fears, that like you can be the example, like you can still have a pure intention and a pure heart, and that it will ripple out like crazy.
Exactly. Yes. Times a million. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Well, let me ask you this, Adam. So what is one thing that you think would benefit every positive head to know or understand as they continue on their own journey?
I mean, I can tell you just simply as I've literally just made my head more positive, for lack of a better term. I used to deal with high anxiety and stress. We all deal with that stuff. But since I really decided to start living just a more positive life, to be a part of this community that promotes nothing but positivity, it's so inspiring. So really just every day, wake up, look in the mirror, and just smile at yourself and say, today, I'm going to fight for what I love and not against what I hate, because there's so much negativity out there and it's always going to be there. But that doesn't mean there's as much positivity to focus on. So if you feel, those Monday nerves getting to you on the way in traffic, stop, take a breath, smile, and think about something else last week that made you smile. Put on your favorite song. Call a loved one or a friend, Put that smile back on your face, because there's 100 ways to do it.
Powerful. I love it. And so true. So true. The negative will always be there because we have to have the polarity and the duality, right? It's always going to be there, but you don't have to, I always think of it like this. It's like you're producing something in every moment because you're giving energy to something. So what do you want to produce more of? Do you want to produce more of what you don't want, or do you want to produce more of what you do want? In every single moment, you're kind of giving birth to something new, right? So we have so much power. We have so much power to choose, and I think that's so powerful. And even I just needed that. I literally go over this stuff all day, every day as my job, and even I just needed the reminder you just gave everyone. I literally had a moment just now where I was like, oh yeah, I really could just kick my mood up a little bit and just, be a much more powerful person for the people who need me. So definitely that's beautiful. And anything else you want to share, Adam, before we start wrapping up here?
I've like I said, I could keep talking, but I think I've really said, I think I've done a good intro to what good people doing good is. And if anybody's interested, feel free to check out the website, hit us up online, see what we're all about. That you could always walk into work and say to your friend, oh, did you hear about this new thing on the news that everybody's all riled up about? Or you could walk in and go, hey, did you hear about that girl that wanted to give her teacher a present and didn't have anything to give her? So she took all the Lucky Charms marshmallows out of her cereal and gave her teacher that because everybody knows those are the best part of the breakfast.
I saw that.
That's a great story. It's so good.
I saw that. Was that you? Or was that something we just all both saw?
I think that was one of the stories that went around and got a little viral. So it's one that I love talking about because that's somebody who didn't have anything to give and still found something. So to anybody who's like, I can't give back. I just don't know what I have to give back. Think about it. You'll find it.
Oh, I love that. I love that. That's a beautiful note to end on. Thank you so much, Adam, for sharing and for creating this awesome platform. I hope everybody listening goes and checks it out and, finds a way to get involved because this is it's such a simple but beautiful thing and we need so many more of them. So thank you so much, Adam. This has been a pleasure to talk to you.
I appreciate it so much. And it's such an honor to be part of this show right now. It's so amazing. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for sharing with us and have a beautiful night.
Thank you very much. You too, please.
That's it for this week's episode. If you're a listener with a story to share and are interested in being featured on a future episode of this special series, you can email me at alexa@positivehead.com. Also, if you're craving more consciousness elevating content, be sure to check out Gaia, which is the go-to source for streaming consciousness content on the web, where you can stream an incredible 7,000 plus exclusive videos covering 5,000 years of wisdom. As you all hear Brandon constantly say, it's a daily conscious effort to maintain an elevated vibration. And if you're looking to journey deep down the rabbit hole to do so, then Gaia is the best place we know of to do it. Period. And you can sign up for your first month for only 99 cents at gaia.com/positivehead. That's spelled GAIA.com/positivehead. Check it out. Otherwise, tune in next Friday for another P-Head Posse episode. And until then, as Brandon always says, journey well.